Alrighty, YouTube, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how good is A2 without dupes. Now, I do have one dupe. If you guys watch my showcase video, I did pull another dupe near the end of the video with the summons. She's a great character, so even with my one dupe, you guys could kind of see. I think my one dupe only gave me like 200 or maybe 400 attack increase. It's not that much more, but I have no overload gear. I have just the regular charge speed cube or the Juten cube. Right now, this is the cube I have on her, but probably will change around. We'll see. And then all level 5 gear. She's a great character. Now, obviously, this is a character, since she's an attacker DPS, she's just better with dupes. That's the truth, right? The more invested you have into her, the better she is. The more dupes you have into her, the better she is. But is she in the situation with like 2B where you kind of want to have dupes? No, I think this character is great without dupes. Realistically, she's hitting pretty hard numbers. So look at my A2 here. She's hitting maybe 100,000. She's better with mobs, clearly, right? Because she's a rocket launcher. So, and then when user burst skill, look, she's hitting 700k, 400k there, 400k there, 400k there, and the core hit an additional, 20% from obviously her second skill. But she hits hard, right? And I think, obviously, in terms of her situation with healing, there's a lot of characters that are working well with her. But essentially, you do not need dupes with this character, right? I think, like I said, dupes make her way better. But one copy is really all you're going to need. If I have her level 10 skills, let's say, overload gear, and then whatever her best cube is, and the best stats, and whatever, all that stuff, which we'll figure out in a bit, she's going to perform fantastically. So even here, we already in damage at 21 million. Obviously, my Modernia is at 59 million, but that's because my Modernia is LB3, full overload gear, fully leveled up, perfect stats on her overload gear, full level 10 gear, or full level 10 skills. Like, that's insane. But she hits very hard. And I think you're really going to see the numbers from this character when you use her burst skill. Now, is she going to be replacing any of your main DPSs on your team? Unless you have her invested, no. But she's a fantastic character for that second DPS. So if your main DPS is Scarlet, she's still going to be your main DPS. Scarlet will still be your main DPS. But if you want to have a second option for that DPS slot, that's where you can have this character come in. Or you can even just use this character before Scarlet in terms of the burst skill rotation. Get her burst skill off so that you always have the charge speed increase and stuff like that. But obviously, the more invested, the better, right? 43 million is pretty good. Right? And we could have her go even higher, If I take out Modernia and I put in Privity, who's giving us an attack buff, it's going to help us more, right? Because she does do damage, additional damage of final attack. So let me put in like Privity, right? If she was an electric character, would have been so much better too. I think I want to use, we could still use this team. I think if she was an electric, would be so much better because I could run her with Anise and Privity, would be perfect. But yeah. Literally, you don't need to go for dupes. Just go for one copy. This is a guaranteed must have one copy at least for sure, right? This is a character who will be so good because she works with a lot of healers, right? I think again, one thing a lot of players were worried about is the amount of healers she was gonna work with, but it's not the fact that there's not enough healers. It's the simple fact that as long as you have those healers who heal on a full burst and stuff like that, every full burst rotation, and you're getting into your burst rotation quickly, you're always going to be above 40%, right? 40% is very low, so it's not going to take her, it's not going to be quick for her to go from 100% to 40%. That's 60% HP she has to lose, realistically, right? So that's around maybe 15 seconds it's going to take her. The higher it is, probably it's going to be less, right, realistically. But yeah, when you use her burst skill, she does numbers, right? 17 million. Right now, she's on par with my Noir, but she's using her burst skill right now. Right? She's only attacking one enemy. Remember, she hits much harder when there's more enemies around. So, as you guys see, now she's hitting 3 enemies all at once here, right? When the enemy was down here, she was only hitting 1. When they're closer together like this, maybe, right, she's going to be hitting much more, a lot more. So there's that. I guess, do they have to be in the same range area? Not really beside each other, but the same. So here, right, you guys can see they're in the same area, range area, right? It doesn't really matter how close they are. It's within their range area. But her numbers, 33 million, right? She's on par with Noir right here, but I think after this, she should be higher than Noir, right? That was a lot of numbers there, right? Let's see, 36 million, 35 million. My Noir is full overload gear as well, core 1. So that says a lot about my character who's A2 is barely invested, right? Pretty good. Overall, you don't need dupes. A very good character with or without dupes. I would recommend dupes, but does that mean you have to go for dupes? Absolutely not. If you got your 1 copy, start saving for the anniversary. I think if you got your 1 copy, your main focus should be anniversary at this point. That's the reality of the situation. If you've gotten your 1 copy, stop summoning. If you're free to play, save for anniversary, right? If you want to go for LB3 out of the 2, if you don't have masked, right, and you don't plan on using, I think you're only ever going to use 2B if you're using her with mask, right? I think A2, you're going to use her with anybody, realistically. So I feel like out of A2 and 2B, the more dependable character, like I've been saying even before this character came out, even before 2B came out, the more dependable character is clearly going to be A2. Because 2B, you're only really running her if you're with mask. If you're not, then you're probably just running her because you like the character, but you're not really running her if you're not with mask. A2, as long as I'm with a lot of the best characters in the game, Blanc and Noir, those great characters, Rapunzel, Summer, like Mary, a lot of these healers, right? As long as I'm using those characters, she's going to be on these teams, right? And I am using those characters in reality, right? Most people were not using Mask before 2B, and most people probably won't just use Mask unless they're planning on running 2B. But A2, I'm using the Bunny Girls. I'm going to slap her on the team with the Bunny Girls. If I'm using Rapunzel, I'm going to slap her on the team with Rapunzel because these characters will keep her above 40% the entire time. And that's really where she shines. But if you are only going for 1 dupe, even if you're going for dupes, your priority should probably just focus on getting her skills leveled up, because the more level her skills are, the better she is. Another priority is probably overload gear. Does she need it? Well, she's just way better with it. So I would assume you would want it, right? Especially if you can get the attack rolls, the charge damage, charge speed. You can get more stuff to benefit this character from overload gear. But your main focus should probably be leveling up these skills, right? In terms of the order, obviously, probably burst skill, then first skill, and then second skill, right? If the whole thing is that you want... Remember, the higher burst skill, the less current HP you're losing, right? So at level 10, it's at 3.99%. At level 5, it's 4.89%. So the higher the burst skill, the less HP I'm losing, the more attack and more charge speed I'm gaining. And if I'm trying to have it permanently, burst skill is obviously the best way to go. Skill 1 is probably the most impactful skill when we use a burst skill realistically, so you definitely want to have that over. And then the second skill is cool and all, but it's definitely not, it's probably your last priority. So burst skill, then first skill, then second skill's priority. But fantastic character overall. I think they slapped with both of the near characters. Both A2 and 2B are very good. But yeah, A2 does not need dupes. So you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. See you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.